How's it going, guys? Dragon Star Production here, back with another What If video, and this time we're going to be finishing the series of What If Bardock Never Returned, and like normal, no recap of the last video, link down above and below. With that being said, let's get into the finale of What If Bardock Never Returned. Alright, so last time we left off with the defeat of Babidi and Deborah. However, we won't be talking about Boo either because, well, Vegeta, Nappa, and Gohan all managed to blow away Boo's egg before he was actually released. This actually means our characters are going to have a little time of peace before the next event actually occurs. Obviously, Bardock, Goku, Broly, Vegeta, Nappa, Raditz, and the revived Leak, Piccolo, Gohan, Tenshinhan, Krillin, Yamcha were all not slacking. By now, everyone has mastered some form of boost. For the Saiyans, they all learned Super Saiyan 2, while Goku and Bardock both had a grip of possibly actually achieving Super Saiyan 3, while Broly has a full control of his full power Super Saiyan form after having so much time to actually try to control it. As for the humans and Piccolo, well, they've learned some pretty special techniques themselves, being the Kaioken. This means that by the time that Beerus wakes up, the entire group of Z-Fighters are much more powerful, not to mention there are 6 more Saiyan. Anyway, with that covered, let's get into Beerus waking up. Beerus awakes, immediately wondering of a Super Saiyan God, like in canon. He confirms it with the Oracle Fish, so Whis takes him straight to the place where all the Saiyan survivors are actually at. This being Earth. When the two arrive, on the way there, Goku and Vegeta get a heads up from King Kai, and of course Goku is looking forward to the fight, while Vegeta, well, he remembers Beerus from when he was a child and knows that Beerus is no joking matter at all. Vegeta then proceeds to tell Goku to make sure that they don't fight Beerus unless they absolutely have to. Goku, though, is reluctant, but luckily Bardock approaches the two after overhearing. Bardock asks what's going on, and Goku just blurts out that he's waiting for the God of Destruction, Beerus, to arrive, that way that he can fight him. Bardock, though, remembers Beerus, and then he actually states a flashback from a long time ago on planet Vegeta. Way back on planet Vegeta, I had just finished a mission taking out planet Kanasa. My crew had already set off for our next mission while I had to make a pit stop. It was actually the day of the birth of, well, you, Kakarot. I had just left the pod that you were in, and I seen Vegeta's castle having all these soldiers on guard. It was very rare that the Saiyans were actually on guard, so I approached one of the ones outside asking what was going on. He told me that some cat named Beerus, who was a god, was inside having a meeting with our king. And it was right then when I had actually felt something just feel wrong. And then it was right then that I always assumed that Vegeta's power level dropped, that my scouter just so happened to pick up. Because then it wasn't 2 seconds later that same cat came rushing out of the doors, but the wind that came off of him was enough to knock all of us back 100 yards. Some of us were even knocked out. Then, like I said, that same guy with a halo came and took him away. I then went inside as the guards were all knocked out cold. I was able to go right in. All I saw was you, Vegeta, holding your dad as he tries to stand up, but he couldn't. Instead of causing any issues, though, I just left, leaving mine and my crew's coordinates behind like we always had to do. And then after that, I knew not to trust Beerus. Something is off about him. Maybe today we can actually find out what that is. Vegeta actually had memories of this exact same night, so both Vegeta and Bardock managed to get everybody on the lookout for Beerus's arrival. But in the meantime, they're all going to be enjoying Bulma's birthday party, or at least they'll have to do with whatever she tells them to do. However, this would only last about 20 minutes because Beerus and Whis would both arrive right on Bulma's yacht. Bulma, though, is the first to greet Beerus, and she's not very happy about the two party crashers. In fact, she gets right in Beerus's face, and she starts yelling at him. Beerus, though, isn't going to deal with this for long, so he picks up his hand, slapping Bulma straight to the ground, as he states that he's looking for the Super Saiyan God, not a feisty soccer mom. However, before anybody could say anything else, Vegeta burst into Super Saiyan 2, while the whole My Bulma scene goes as planned. Beerus is actually quite impressed by Vegeta's power, but he knew it wasn't the power of a god. With that said, Beerus would then eat 1 or 2 punches from Vegeta just to dodge every other punch, to simply use one hand to chop the back of Vegeta's neck, causing him to crash straight to the floor. Bardock then would waste no time, as he then would rush in, telling the others in to follow. They all do too, but they all get their tails whooped as well. Beerus manages to easily escape with no damage. He floats above the Z-Fighters and states again, "I'll give you 10 minutes to find the Super Saiyan God, or I'll destroy all of you and this planet." Like in canon though, Goku decides to use the Dragon Balls to ask about the Super Saiyan God. This is when they find out about the ritual, and Goku is actually the first to become the god. But not the only one, because Vegeta also gets to become a god, with Bardock following right after him. Broly would, but he has no idea if he'll be able to control the power, so he decides to wait and actually see if it's necessary before he actually does it. As for Raditz, Nappa, and all the other Saiyans, well, they're just going to fight at full power at this time, and maybe become a Super Saiyan God later on. However, with that being said, Beerus would then slowly get into his fighting stance, as he then taunts the 3 Super Saiyan Gods that are standing in front of him, not to mention a full power Broly, and Nappa, Raditz, and Leak too, yeah, because, they're there, can't forget about them. Gohan, yeah, he's there, well. Anyway, the Saiyans all rush in at Beerus. Beerus is excited for the fight, but as soon as the first punch is thrown, Beerus weaves it. Goku is shocked, but Vegeta and Bardock aren't in the slightest. Beerus then taunts them some more, saying that they need to come on and give them the rush that he's been waiting for, that he expected more from some filthy monkeys. And yes, I use this wording for a reason, because instantly Beerus' choice of words register inside all the Saiyans' head. In fact, this enrages both Vegeta and Bardock, who both dart into them, and they are able to dodge as Beerus' kick just to grab Beerus by the ears and gut punch him several times over and over. And the reason why these two are so enraged is because this wording reminds them of somebody else that they despise. Beerus, though, then starts to get overwhelmed, realizing that he has no choice but to use more of his power. Beerus then unleashes a roar that blows Bardock and Vegeta backwards. However, Goku was waiting for the opening, so he dashes in at full speed towards Beerus, while Broly actually contemplates on the sidelines with Nappa and Raditz of if they should join in. Nappa informs Broly that it would be best to wait when they need them, and they would strike at that moment, or Beerus would easily just kill them. Vegeta and Bardock, though, question the monkey comment and how similar it was to Frieza. And at this point, the two knew that something was up, so they picked themselves up off the ground, following behind Goku. Speaking of, Goku was giving his all, eating punches, giving punches. Beerus was impressed, but he was still on guard. And luckily so, because Beerus' side vision, in comes Bardock and Vegeta. Beerus was able to duck the attacks, but Bardock and Vegeta don't collide. Instead, they quickly gather themselves to turn backwards, blasting Beerus with multiple ki blasts. When the smoke clears, though, Goku flies in, crashing an elbow directly into Beerus' jaw. Beerus, for the first time in this fight, goes crashing towards the ground. But before Beerus could actually hit the ground, he regroups and once again taunts the Saiyans, this time with a huge smile on his face. With that being said, Bardock would then dart into Beerus' side, Goku to his head, and Vegeta dead center, straight towards his gut. Beerus, though, sideswipes Goku, nearly misses Bardock's elbow, just edging his arm, while Vegeta nails him directly in the stomach. But that wasn't all. Vegeta then shoots off a final flash right in close distance at Beerus. Beerus had no choice but to eat the attack straight on. However, the blast would eventually get bigger and bigger. This was due to Bardock sending a final spirit cannon and Goku a super Kamehameha. Beerus just gets swallowed. But then, finally, when the blast explodes and the smoke clears, Beerus' remains still stands. He got scratches all over him. His clothes is ripped. But then he screams out with a huge roar. Accidentally, though. Oh man, if I knew fighting the Saiyans would be this amazing, I wouldn't have ordered Frieza to annihilate them. And when these words came out of Beerus' mouth, all of the Saiyans begin to shake as Bardock yells, "What? My Guinea!" Bardock literally explodes. His ki shoots higher than both Vegeta and Goku's as he then rushes in straight towards Beerus. Bardock holds nothing back. His fist crashes right into Beerus' jaw. Bardock then draws out his knee, driving it right into Beerus' gut. All of this is your fault, Gine, Tora, Burgos, Fasha, Shagesh. All the Saiyans died because of you! Bardock's power just continues to grow, while Beerus is really enjoying himself. The Super Saiyan God is truly a battle he's been missing, truly the rival that he's always wanted. But Beerus wasn't ready for Goku and Vegeta to come diving in head first or knocking straight into him. The three Saiyans would then start charging up their signature techniques. Goku a Kamehameha, Vegeta a Final Flash, Bardock a Final Spirit Cannon. Beerus, though, awaited the blast as he then shot himself into the air, building a destruction ball of his own. Beerus then asked the three Saiyans, why do they think that they can do anything now? Why do they think that they can save their planet if they couldn't do it so long ago? Beerus then releases the destruction ball after he finishes talking, but as he releases the ball, so do the Saiyans. The three blasts collide together as they match up to Beerus' ball. It was a super long blast fight, but it slowly comes to an end whenever a certain somebody starts to notice that Beerus is actually winning the blast fight. This certain somebody was Broly. Broly roared as his aura burst. He was a full power Super Saiyan as he then had his eyes locked on the God of Destruction, darting in, nailing Beerus into the mountains below them that were on the side of the water. This catches Beerus way off guard, especially because Broly isn't a Super Saiyan God, but Broly stays on the attack. And at this point, Beerus is stumbling right now. He really can't catch his grip between Bardock, Broly, Goku, and Vegeta. Beerus is losing. Beerus also realizes his mouth could not back him out of this. He enjoyed the fight, but he couldn't just leave. He couldn't back down now. Not at least after everything that he's done. Beerus then decides that he has no choice but to actually blow up the planet. But first, Beerus had to get Broly out of the picture. The other three were slowly losing their power, while Broly continued to climb in his. Beerus then burst out a shield around him as he then shoots three ki blasts, one at Goku, one at Vegeta, and one at Bardock, while he then charged one more right towards Broly, except this ki blast wasn't the same as all the others. Beerus then drops the shield as he says, "This one is for you." Hakai! Beerus erased Broly, and obviously this enrages everyone, but it was too late. At the time the three dart in, they fell back to their regular Super Saiyan form and no longer had a chance against Beerus, who then would simply smack them all three, crashing them into the water. Beerus would then yell at Whis to come and follow him, as Beerus would then blow up Earth, killing everyone on it. Beerus, though, then turns to Whis. "Were you able to get me some more delicates?" Whis replies, "Oh my lord, I was too busy eating myself." And guys, with that said, this series is actually coming to an end. And I know this is kind of a sad ending, but I kind of felt like it made sense for Bardock to actually be this where it ends, because I don't see Bardock wanting to train under Beerus, and if that was the case, it would just be Vegeta and Goku, with Bardock just somehow falling behind with Super Saiyan 3. So maybe he would end up going to the Tournament of Power and he would eliminate some extra people. But overall, I don't really see it changing the overall opinion of Super. This way, I feel like this series actually has a close. If you guys don't like it, I strongly apologize, but I felt like I said this would actually be an actual end to what if Bardock never returned to Planet Vegeta. And like I said, I did enjoy writing this. I really hope you guys loved it just as much as I did. And with that said, this has been What If Bardock Never Returned. Dragon Star Productions is out.
Congratulations, champ. You made it to the end of the video. Now, if you hit that subscription button, that thumbs up button, and that bell icon, you won't catch a dynamite kick.